If you're counting on a comfortable retirement, there's something about your future that almost no one tells you. Not in a dramatic way, not in a loud warning. It happens quietly, while life keeps moving and years keep passing. You're probably somewhere between your 40s and early 60s. You've worked most of your adult life. You paid taxes, showed up to work, handled responsibilities, even when it was exhausting. And at some point, you assumed retirement would eventually make sense, not luxury. Not a perfect life, just stability, just peace of mind. That assumption is where most people get into trouble. Because retirement doesn't fall apart suddenly, it erodes slowly, silently, while you're busy doing everything you're supposed to do. At first, everything feels fine. You're still earning. Bills are paid. Life continues. So it feels like time is on your side. And when nothing feels urgent, it's easy to believe you can deal with it later. But time is the one thing the middle class quietly runs out of. What almost no one explains clearly is that the rules around retirement didn't change overnight. They shifted little by little. Costs went up. Security went down. And responsibility moved away from institutions and landed on individuals. But no one sat you down and said, from now on, this is mostly on you. So people kept living their lives, raising kids, paying mortgages, helping family, handling emergencies, doing what responsible adults do. And every year, retirement moved a little further away without anyone noticing. This is where people get trapped. Because nothing feels wrong until suddenly everything feels urgent. Most people don't wake up one day and realize they're unprepared. They wake up one day and realize they're almost out of time. And that realization hits hard. What makes this dangerous is how subtle it feels in the beginning. You're told things like, "You'll catch up later. You still have time." It usually works out, so you relax just enough to keep going. But life doesn't pause while you plan. Expenses quietly rise. Healthcare becomes unpredictable. Aging parents start needing help. Adult children need support longer than expected. And the gap between what you earn and what you can save slowly shrinks. Not because you failed. Because the system assumes you can absorb pressure forever. This is why retirement feels impossible for people who did everything right. They didn't overspend. They didn't gamble. They didn't quit working. They just trusted a future that no longer behaves the way it used to. The real problem shows up later when people realize retirement isn't just about stopping work. It's about surviving without a paycheck for decades. And that's when fear starts to build. The idea of just working longer sounds reasonable at first, until your body pushes back, until energy drops, until stress compounds, until health changes in ways you didn't plan for. People assume they'll retire at 65, then it becomes 67, then 70. Then it becomes as long as I can, not because they love working, but because stopping feels dangerous. Others retire anyway, and that's when the numbers start to feel cruel. Savings that once looked solid begin shrinking faster than expected. Withdrawals feel heavier. Markets feel scarier. Every unexpected bill feels personal. A car repair isn't just inconvenient anymore. It feels like a warning. A medical expense isn't just a bill. It feels like vulnerability. Vacations disappear first, then hobbies, then comfort. Slowly, choices start disappearing. This is the part no one likes to talk about. The fear of losing independence. The fear of needing help. The fear of depending on family. The fear of watching every dollar for the rest of your life. People don't imagine retirement like this. They imagine calm mornings, freedom, relief. But what many experience instead is constant calculation. Can I afford this? What if something happens? How long will this last? And then comes the regret. I assumed I had more time. I thought it would be enough. I didn't realize how fast this would change. What hurts most is realizing there was no single mistake. No dramatic failure. Just small decisions made under pressure, repeated year after year. And the warning signs were always quiet. No alarms, no messages that felt urgent enough to act on. Just reassurance when urgency was needed. I've seen this pattern repeat again and again. Hardworking people, careful people. People who never imagined retirement would feel uncertain. And the most dangerous part isn't the money itself. It's realizing that the story you believed about retirement was incomplete. Because once that realization hits, fear changes behavior. People delay facing it. They avoid looking too closely. They tell themselves things will stabilize on their own. They wait, and waiting feels safe, until it isn't. Because the pressure doesn't stop building. Time doesn't slow down. Costs don't reverse. Bodies don't get younger. And the window to adjust quietly gets smaller every year. What most people do next feels logical. It feels calm, feels responsible. But it's also the exact moment where the problem quietly locks itself in place. And almost no one realizes that until there's no easy way back.